we go. Monday fun day. Woo! Fucking cold. But today's going good. I'm asking everyone how their weekend was and stuff, and I realized I need to try new things. I'm starting to get the ideas popping in my head of how prone are you to trying new things, and I think I do have a good spirit and a good motivation to try new things because I'm young and vibrant, but often I don't. So talking to coworkers and seeing all the shit that they do in their hobbies, and stress relievers for them is something that I take note of. And a lot of the people I work with are pretty outdoorsy, so that's cool. I'm not used to that. I'm used to connecting with people, going shopping at the mall, or doing things that I'm more accustomed to. Yeah, that was one example. There's a lot, but yeah, I just seen like I should get out of my comfort zone and go rollerblading and stuff, or just find people with different outlooks and different stress relievers and stuff, because I think that's what it is, and just having fun, openness to new fun. So that's cool. That's got my mind and the gears rolling, but yeah, I want to say, like, being where you're at and thinking that it's time to change directions and stuff could be true. Maybe you do have to grow out of your shell onto something else, but I would say stay humble. Don't act like you're above or below anything, because in reality you're not. We humans rise to the occasion, and we surprise ourselves with what we can do. So comparing each other to this and that and where they're at is robbing you of joy. So just remember that. Get yourself out of the muck, so yeah, that's what I think. That's what I want to share to you guys with me and my weekend. It was a good weekend, and I thought of things to ask people just to stay ahead, and I have a whole book of like 3,000 questions, and I brought it in at one point, and I kind of got clowned for it, but it was just a book with a whole bunch of questions, and I thought that shit was cool because asking the right questions helps you get better answers, and better questions are better answers. And that's when I got to discover what people really like to do, and I think it's cool. I think that I need more outlets. I think I have points where I feel stuck, but you're not stuck. You just gotta switch shit up and keep it fresh, and variety is the spice of life. So yeah, push yourself to do something new. That's kind of the idea that I wanted to pour out. And I've been kind of going through it a little bit. I have a homie that isn't doing the best, and health-wise, and it's been a slow decrease, and I kind of knew it was just gonna hit some point. So I kind of just want to touch on death. But to touch on death, I wanted to talk about how trippy life is. I feel like it's all around you. And I don't want to get hippy dippy, but like, if you think about it, like, even dreams will be very trippy. Another thing is just like thinking about someone and then they text you. How weird is that? And how could that be? So a lot of connections are happening within us that we don't even remember. We don't know why it happened, but we just kind of go on with life, but I just wanted to bring it up because it's something that I think the awareness is important, because there's a lot of magic to life, and I feel like magic is on the other side of fear, which is a motivating thing to jump on the other side of fear. And it is a leap. Usually you just hope for the best, with fear. A lot of fear that is boundaries in my head is telling people what I really think transparently in the moment. And sometimes when I say things in the moment and I do try to face that fear head on, now I'm worried about how that resonated with the person. So it's a lot of overthinking. I want to have a blissful life and not give a fuck. That's cool to do, but then sometimes you look like a dickhead. But I think a lot of people admire it too. So I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. I'm just saying, like, not worrying and not overthinking it helps with not giving a fuck. But a lot of things require giving a fuck. So yeah, I don't know. Life throws a lot at you, and that's trippy in a sense. You know, what you should do in what scenario. And shit, here we are, you know, we're just trying out here. And that's one thing. Forgive your mom and dad. Forgive your parents, bro, if you can, you know, because they're all trying their best. And at some point, there's really no excuse. But if you could be the bigger person and just tell them that you love them and say, I love you. A lot of my family is like, see you later, a little hug, and then love ya. Like, I don't feel loved at that shit. And I tell my mom, like, damn, you treated me good today. I felt really loved today. Thank you. That's something that I'll say, because as a parent, that's probably something I wanted to hear. I just try to think like, hey, I think that's what you would want to hear. And I'm not trying to, you know, rub her ego or whatever and just be like, tell her what she wants to hear, even if it's not true. And sometimes, like, I hold back from saying things because I know they're not all the way true. But in ways that I can just show my appreciation, I try to do it with the right words. So yeah, but I want to jump back at, like, why life is so trippy. And kind of a lot of people are like, where do we go after we die? But the question that I like is just like, where do we come from? And I guess we just lose touch with reality towards the end. But it's kind of crazy how life goes full circle. You know, you start off as a baby, but at the end, you know, your mind kind of goes into baby mode, you know, with dementia. It's either your brain is gonna fog up, or either your body's gonna fall apart. So treating yourself right and getting the right maintenance is important. But just the fact that, like, it seems like life comes full circle. So try to break the bad patterns as early as possible. I think that's something that could be motivating. But yeah, like, where we go after we die, who knows? But, like, where we come from is kind of interesting too. And I think consciousness just snaps, you know, it does that magic. And I think we want to be alive. That's why I'm prone to believe that there's life after death. I think we do. I think the world wants to be alive and just wants to keep it going. So I don't know if we reincarnate into our own soul again, into different souls, if we're one entity. It's all voodoo, but I don't know. It's something cool to talk about and think about. Think about different worlds. Jose was telling me yesterday, we were hanging out. Or not yesterday, but this weekend. He's telling me about how, you know, your mind has a shield. You know, your inner self, where you're happy, you're calm. You know, you're doing you. You're in your head. And then negativity comes in and tries to creep in. And that shit is a virus. And that shit will really rewire you in negative ways if you listen to those voices. But if you have a nice thick shield bubble around your, like, inner happiness, you know, you're gonna have more wear and tear, or you're gonna have more of a tolerance to risk, a tolerance to facing fears. You know, it's all about another thing he said too. Actually, I want to say this real quick about ego. And when your ego bumps head with the assumption that you made and the evidence that you brought towards that assumption, it's like evidence for a claim. You know, we all do it. We think, oh man, I suck. well, I suck because I feel like a loser because I don't have money. You know, that's your evidence. And yeah, people can really jack that, and that shit is a mind virus. So I think it's important to just know that your thoughts sometimes aren't your thoughts. So, you know, center yourself and do what you gotta do to realign yourself with who you are and the goals that you made for yourself and the discipline that it's gonna take. And for me, it's just being okay with not being where I want to be. And a lot of people fucking take years and years and years, and it just is a 30-year grind, you know? So shout out to people like that. Maybe you gotta kind of work a little smarter to get where you want, to get to the destination. But yeah, like, we'll be all right. So let's break it down into something else. So it is cold as fuck, like 0 degrees out. Okay, so I did what the fuck I wanted to do. I got a crock pot, started throwing shit in there. No dishes, just the fucking crock pot and like a tonsil. It's fucking beautiful. What's not beautiful is having no fork. So, but hey, I like the convenience of it. I just threw chicken in, cheese, butter. Didn't even cook the chicken. Just threw that shit in raw. Came out great. I want to do like lasagna next or something with beef, maybe pork. But just that alone has got me very excited about what I'm putting in my body. Because it's like, damn, that was easy. And if I want to make it healthy, just throw healthy shit in. I don't gotta whip that shit up. It's nice. I recommend it. So yeah, that's how we doing it around here. So started working on thumbnails. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I use Snapchat. Just sticker the face. Throw in some fucking short title. And yeah. You know, it's a wrap. You know, there's nothing too crazy. But yeah, I kinda want this page to all come together. So it'll be cool. I wanna do little intros with Pure Farms. Make it a little snappy. I want to work on shorts, so that's what I'll do. And yeah, keep investing in myself. So yeah, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll have Jose. We'll see how that shit goes. But yeah, I feel like falling back and relearning the same lessons is hard. And I don't know how to interpret it as, damn, like, I'm just in the same spot. My wheels are turning, but I'm just here. You know, I'm not getting any progress, no results. I'm learning the same lesson, you know, and it's hard. I'm like, I thought I got past that, you know, but, yeah, I would say just making good habits. I'd say example of that in my life is just like, getting a car, crashing a car, getting a job, getting fired, starting over, and be like, damn, same fucking lesson. I should have got a job before I quit this job, or I should have just cared a little bit more. But life is full of lessons, and you will relearn the same lessons until you get it. You know, I'm very hard-headed, and I want to go against the grain and think that I could just pull the world together and make it work for me because the world's rooting for me. And reality sets in, and pain sets in, and it's hard to run away from pain. So yeah, I would just encourage you to slow down. You know, I think that's when that starts to happen. When we get into a bad attitude. Attitude is so important. And if you could pull yourself out of a bad attitude, it's awesome because, you know, we like to complain and we like to bitch when we use this term like, damn, it would be better if it was this, or if I was here, or if I was doing this. But to be honest, if you're a complainer, you're gonna complain no matter what. So work on the now. You know, you don't need to solve the world. You need to first solve yourself and then help chip away at the world's needs. So, yeah, keep your ego low. And if you have high ego, that shit's gonna bump heads and you're gonna think that you're right and everyone else is wrong. But that's a disease. It's gonna change the way you look at the world. And that lens may take you down a dark road, a lonely road. And that's why I really like mushrooms, because sometimes I'll go down a road where I feel self-righteous and stuff, but mushrooms help recenter me, where I'm like I'm not better than anyone, I'm not below anyone. I just need to focus on what's important to me. And if I bump heads with someone, just realize, yeah, I could be wrong, and that's okay. You know, we're humans. And one thing I like to say is, like, I need to do a better job of saying sorry and being humble and being truthful to me and the world around me. So it's something I need to do. It's hard to do. It's hard to know if I should do it. But if it eats at me days afterwards, yeah, I would say that's a good way to say, like, hey, I should have did this, and do it. I need to do it. I need to apologize to some people in my past that I didn't really treat right, and it's not cool, and it's something that should be brought to their attention that I'm sorry, and they should know that. And there's probably like 3 people I should do. So yeah, and with time, you know, it doesn't eat at you anymore, and you just say fuck it and let it go. But we all know what's right and wrong, so I'm just trying to do the right thing, take the higher road, and I think they'll be really appreciative. And it's just a way to send love, you know, and say, like, hey, I wasn't there for you in the past, but I'm trying to pick up the pieces and be better. So I hope you could understand that, and ask for forgiveness too. As a society, how often do we do that? It's like, oh, whatever, you know? So it's very cold. Licking my cold ass nubs. So yeah, we're gonna head back. But this was just a short little pick me up, hopefully. And I hope your day goes beautiful.